I'm Laura. I'm here in my kitchen to show you how to make our KYN Bowl. So this meal really checks all of our nutritional needs. It's super loaded with flavor and it's also nutritionally balanced. So today I want to talk to you about what it means to balance a meal nutritionally, and then I want to walk you through how we build out our KYN Bowl, keeping these fundamentals in mind. So in nutrition, we talk about macronutrients, and we want to make sure that we get the macronutrients into each meal. So that is carbohydrates, fat, and protein. We've taken a little spin on the carbohydrates, and we're going to call that fiber. I don't know about you, but when I think about carbs, I think of white bread, cookies, pasta, that kind of thing. And when I think about fiber, I think of veggies and roughage and leafy greens. So what we'll do is we'll call our macronutrients today fiber, fat, and protein. And just as a side note, all of the veggies that we eat and the grains, all the whole grains, those are carbohydrates, but we're also getting all these additional benefits in these whole foods. So we want to make sure we get fiber. Fiber is going to be things like all of the veggies that you see here. Like I said, you want to think of roughage. So this is the food that is going to move through your system and sweep everything through and out, kind of cleaning the pipes out and pulling out anything that your body doesn't need any longer and getting it out of there. We can also think of the grains as high fiber. We're using quinoa today. And then our fats are that really satiating component of our meal. So it makes food taste really good. It keeps us feeling full. So we always want to include healthy fat. And we get that through the nuts and the seeds that we use. We get that often through our dressings that we make. And then lastly, protein. So protein is in a lot of these veggies and dark leafy greens, and also in our grain and our quinoa grain. But then we add it in with additional nut and seed toppings. Today we're going to add protein as our edamame beans. But you could also use clean animal sources of protein, like organic eggs or grass-fed beef, chicken, whatever you like. We're gonna go totally plant-based today. So with that in mind, let's talk about how we build the bowl from the base layer up. So the very first base is gonna be our grain, and today we're using a red quinoa. So everything's already prepared so that this is easy to throw together. For you today, we're using a red quinoa grain, which is a gluten-free grain. So some other examples of gluten-free grains would be like a wild rice, a black rice, you could do an amaranth or a teff. And if you don't have any issues with gluten, then you could look to some of the other whole grains like farro. The thing to keep in mind really is that you want the whole food. So we want unrefined foods. We want the fiber in there as well. When you make your quinoa, you can do a little additional tip, which is to sprinkle some salt and some ghee or coconut oil or a little gob of butter in, and it makes the quinoa on its own so delicious. So that's our base. Now to add to the base, we're gonna get some leafy greens in. This is a great way to sneak them in. So I have some spinach chopped up here. We're gonna add it right into the base. There's also some fresh basil. So we like to have both cooked vegetables and roasted vegetables in this case, and also some fresh veggies in there. So I'm gonna toss that in. And we know spinach has lots of iron and protein in it, and it's also a great source of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is known as nature's healer. It's really great for cleansing our blood. And I'm gonna just mix this all in. And I'm giving you another little tip here in a second. We're gonna add a little bit of our dressing, which I'll talk about in a moment, to the base so that the flavor of the dressing is all throughout this bowl so that every bite tastes so good. Got my 2 forks to go. So here we go. I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit of our Thai sun butter dressing into the base, and I'll save a little bit to drizzle on top as well. Incorporate it all in. I think this would just be good on its own. Quinoa, spinach, basil, and a little bit of this Thai dressing. Yum. Okay, so that's mixed up pretty good. And now it's just about topping things off here. So let's talk about what we have on the board. Our next layer is gonna be more of the fill. So you can think of this as all your veggies. So we're gonna use some red cabbage or purple, however you refer to it. And this is raw. This is another raw veggie component. So like I said, we wanna have both cooked veggies and some raw. So we can really get the benefits of all of the nutrients in their raw form. I'm using this purple cabbage, one, because of its really bright color, and it's such a great source of fiber as well. So this is really gonna help sweep through the system. You can sprinkle this in, and if you'd like, you can even mix this into the base as well. We have quite a colorful base started already here. And an added tip for the cabbage is, one, to cut it really thinly, and then to also massage it a little bit and break down that tough cellulose layer that makes it like really crunchy. We just want it to be a little more palatable. So just a tiny bit of prep for that. It does not take long at all. I'm gonna mix that in. And what do we have next to add? Let's throw our broccoli in. So this is always a good one. Easy to roast up. I did a sheet pan of veggies. It had broccoli on it, had some red pepper. I have some squash on here. I threw some other veggies on too, and then I get it all roasted at once and prepped in the fridge, and it makes creating this bowl really, really easy. Well, get back here, you. So I'm gonna layer these in. And you can do different fun designs with your bowls. I'm just gonna do a couple little lines. We'll see how it looks at the end. And next is our red pepper. So actually, did you know red pepper is such a great source of vitamin C? So it's a really good antioxidant, higher than oranges actually. I always think of oranges with vitamin C, but now I think of red peppers, and so should you. And then we're gonna add our squash. So this is our roast butternut squash. So good. This is a hefty bowl. This is gonna fill me right up. And okay, so we've got our veggies on there, and now I'm gonna sprinkle on, so we're getting to the third layer, which is our toppers. You can think of these as garnishes, but I also like to think of it as like the protein layer. So this might be where you put a boiled egg on, or a little bit of chicken, or in our case, we're gonna add our seed sprinkle. We have the recipe for this online. And also it's a video tutorial for you to check out. And I'm gonna add our edamame beans as our protein as well. So let's sprinkle on our nut and seed mix. That also adds another layer of texture and flavor to the bowl, because these nuts and seeds are roasted. There's some nutritional yeast in there. So it gives that umami flavor, that cheesy flavor a little bit. And then in go our edamame peas. So as you can see, this is an action-packed bowl. It's a great way to get dense nutrition into a meal. What else do I have here? A little bit of spring onion. If you don't like onions, you can omit this, but we're into it around here, so I'm gonna toss those on, not all of them. And then lastly, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of the dressing over top. The dressing is where it's at. So the dressing is our fourth layer of building the bowl, and this has a lot of that really healthy fat content. It's gonna pull all the flavors together, and it's gonna just really take this dish to the next level. If your dressing is good, your food's gonna be delicious. And this Thai sun butter dressing is the bomb. And then I'm just gonna top it with a beautiful little fresh sprig of basil. We've got the basil in there, so it kind of illustrates that we have a bit of a Thai flavor going on. And there we have it. We have this gorgeous, action-packed bowl full of veg. Can you see that goodness? And we're gonna get into it here. So I hope that this gave you some inspiration on making your own bowl. Know that you can change out all of these ingredients really, and just use the foundations and the fundamentals of building your bowl. But go ahead and play with all sorts of different roasted vegetables, fresh vegetables, different herbs, different dressings, different grains. You can get really creative in the kitchen when you understand just the fundamentals of building out a balanced meal. So enjoy your KYN bowls, and we'll see you again soon.
Hi.
Hi. And now we get to taste it. I've summoned them down from the bedroom. Time to taste.
Looks so pretty.
Loaded with veggies.
And delicious. Yeah. Which bite?
It doesn't matter. Any bite's gonna be good because I mixed that dressing into the grain.
Nice, Laura. Very good.
I should have mentioned, take your time in chewing. There's so much fiber in here. You're meant to chew your food to a paste before you swallow it. It will take hours to eat this. But do it. Many, many chews.
Delicious. Well done.
So good. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying what we're sharing, please give us a like, and you can also subscribe to this channel below.
And if you want to follow us along on this journey, you can find us at kin.co or on Instagram at kinsite.